Part 12. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 111. Ouch. In the center of the square, a shocking howl suddenly sounded. After swallowing the evil heart, Twaba once again grew to 2.5 meters tall. The muscles all over his body were tangled, and his whole body exuded a faint black aura. It's like a demon coming to the world. The combat power instantly increased to 10 times its original value. Evil Rage Twaba Death Countdown, 10 minutes. Level, 100. Life, 2.5 million. Attack, 400,000. Defense, 4,000. Skill, Mountain Axe Earthshatter Furious. Suchen looked at this guy's attributes again. Life and attack have all increased tenfold. Evil Heart. I didn't expect that the Sakura Purgatory Guild would even be willing to take out such a thing. Haha, after taking the Evil Heart, you can only survive for 10 minutes, but Dwellin is in danger. Hundreds of thousands of dwarves and players in the field stared at the scene in stunned silence. The game had just begun, and the already powerful Twaba ate something unknown, and its aura became even more terrifying. Dvalin on the opposite side was stunned. While raising the shield in his hand with a solemn expression, he shouted. Twaba, what did you just eat? Twaba, who entered the evil state, couldn't hear what Dvalin was saying at all. With his eyes so red, everything he looked at was bloody. It aroused the rage factor in his heart. Roar! Go to hell! Earth-shattering chop! The epic giant axe quickly broke through the air under the huge power of Twaba. It roared like a fighter jet and slashed hard at Dvalin on the opposite side. The latter felt a huge sense of crisis. Without thinking, he slammed the battle shield in his hand to the ground. Boom! Holy shield! Defense add 150%. An earthy yellow light wrapped around the legendary battle shield. Boom! The axe light meets the battle shield. The huge power of Twaba's axe immediately chopped Dwellin away. Minus 375,000. A huge amount of damage floated out from above Dwellin's head. The latter fell heavily to the ground, blood spilled all over the ground, and he didn't know whether he was alive or dead. Just one blow determines the winner. Hundreds of thousands of people around were horrified to see it. Twaba and Dwellin's original combat power was not much different. But after swallowing the evil heart, Twaba instantly became as terrifying as a god and demon, and even defeated Dwellin with one blow. Victor, the king of the Dark Iron tribe, saw his eyelids twitching wildly. Fortunately, I am not the first one here, otherwise, if I encounter Twaba I won't be able to make a single move. Center of the square. Ahem. Suffered this terrible blow. Dwellin actually stood up again, spitting out blood clots in his mouth, and looked at Twaba opposite him with a face full of shock. Around his waist was a protective belt given by the king of Bahrain, which had been broken into pieces. Boom, boom, boom. Heavy footsteps came. Dwellin struggled to hold up the war shield. Twaba's axe was powerful, and struck again horizontally. Boom. Dwellin let out a scream. The left arm holding the battle shield was directly hit and fractured. At the same time, his body was shot away like a cannonball, and then hit hard into the stands of the Bronzebeard tribe. The second piece of protective equipment shattered, and Dvalin completely passed out. Uncle Dwellin. Balin hurriedly ran over. In the center of the square, Twaba stood proudly and erect with black hair all over his body and his aura like a god or demon. His red eyes stared at Suchen in the stands and roared. Come to death. This roar immediately frightened the ordinary dwarves and players. Even the Dark Iron King Victor and Alexander had solemn expressions. Only the Wild Hammer King Okuyama was beaming after hearing this. Kuroda Takeneo's mouth also put on a wicked smile. King's Landing, it seems that one evil heart can solve you. Your sword that killed the angel instantly has been consumed by the Twaba hammer. I don't believe you can use Twaba axe again. Just as hundreds of thousands of people were all looking at Suchen with the roar of Twaba axe. In the stands, Suchen stood up slowly. With an indifferent expression, he walked towards the center of the square. He was actually holding a chair in his hand. Looking at it, it didn't look like he was going to fight. It was more like going to bask in the sun in front of the house. Seeing Suchen's end, King Okuyama and Kuroda Takeneo laughed even more wantonly. I didn't expect to provoke this guy so quickly. It seems that this idiot Twaba axe has some effect. Click. Put the seat down. Suchen sat on it and raised his legs. Then he took out a glass of fruit wine from his backpack, took a sip, and looked at the sky. It was offline in 40 minutes, it's getting late, it's time to end. This appearance stunned the surrounding players and dwarves. What is he doing? I don't know, but he looks very arrogant. Arrogant? Are you looking for death? Alexander, who was standing behind the Black Iron King, saw Suchen's contented look, and the uneasiness in his heart arose again. This guy is trying to do something else. Takeneo Kuroda on the other side sneered. Chatting with the heroes? Or an empty city strategy? Haha, it's a pity that Twaba Axe is a fool and only knows how to kill people. Bahrain found out that Suchen actually entered the competition alone, and was so shocked that he lost his soul. Brother Junlin, come back soon. While shouting, he rushed towards Suchen. If Suchen died, Bahrain would feel guilty for the rest of his life. In the middle of the square, Twaba Axe's breathing became heavier and heavier. His eyes became increasingly red. Especially when he saw Suchen like this. With a nonchalant look, he was even more furious. Boom, boom, boom. Heavy footsteps rushed towards him, and the cold light on the giant axe enveloped the power of destroying everything, and slashed towards Suchen. Give back my brother's life. Wow. Just at this moment, a crystal ball suddenly appeared in Suchen's hand. It was the holy weapon Lonely Mountain King Muraiden's soul. Start up. Suchen had a thought in his mind while drinking the fruit wine. Buzz. Immediately, an invisible terrifying coercion, centered on Suchen, surged out towards the entire Lonely Mountain. Plop. 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 The dense sounds of kneeling on the ground instantly resounded throughout the Gushan Square. From the evil wrathful one Twaba Axe in front of him. Go to Wild Hammer Tribe King Ocean and Black Iron King Victor. From ordinary dwarves to players. From Takeneo Kuroda to Alexander and the Viking Captain Talk. Hundreds of thousands of people, densely packed on the ground, knelt on the ground. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 112. No. Twaba Axe struggled to stand up under the huge pressure. Veins popped out on his forehead. Black energy surged out of his body. Becoming more and more terrifying like a demon. Activate the skill Fury. Twaba Axe roared wildly, his whole body trembling, as if he was holding up an entire solitary mountain, and he was struggling to stand up. Seeing this situation, Suchen let out a light sigh and thought. Activate Solitary Mountain King Muraiden's soul again. Buzz. The terrifying pressure surged out again. Bang. Twaba Axe knelt down heavily on the ground. His head and face hit the ground hard, and blood splattered. Others are worse off. For the first time, I could kneel on the ground. This second time I just fell down. The king of the Wild Hammer tribe Okuyama, with his face on the ground, had turned the color of pig liver, staring intently at the figure sitting on a chair in the center of the square, leisurely drinking fruit wine. No. I will never bow to you. You despicable. Buzz. The pressure surged out for the third time. Puff. King Okuyama stuck directly to the ground. He lay prone on the ground. The nose hit the hard ironwood of the stand. Blood splattered everywhere. Tears burst out from the pain. Suchen drank up the fruit wine in one gulp. He smacked his lips twice and thought to himself, the old man Muraiden's pressure was quite effective. Looking at Twaba Axe lying on the ground, he asked, "Are you admitting defeat?" Twaba Axe hit his face on the ground, but still roared, Twaba Axe, will never admit defeat." Suchen frowned slightly. "Forget it. Twaba Axe's current death countdown is still 8 minutes away. If you do it yourself, ordinary basic attacks will not be able to break through his 4,000 defenses. But with the 150% increase in attack and acceleration of unparalleled evil madness, you can break the defense. There is also a real damage attack that triggers health value *10% every 2 times, which can also play a role. The skill Shura's Strike also has 2 to 5 times passive critical damage. Should be able to take care of this big guy in 5 minutes. And it can also give you good experience and equipment. Forget it, work hard, I will hack you to death." Suchen drew out the heavy sword Awakening Palm World. Activate Unparalleled Evil Madness. Attack power add 150%. Attack speed add 150%. With the terrifying speed of 3 swords in 2 seconds, he slashed towards Tuo, who was lying on the ground. Postscript. -1165. -3472. 3x critical hit. -10420. 5x critical hit. It should be the function of lucky gems. Thousands of swords come down, and the critical hit rate is extremely high. It only took 4.5 minutes before Evil Furious Twaba Axe was cut into pieces by Suchen. Blood splattered everywhere. I guess even if his mother came, he wouldn't be able to recognize her. Ding. Congratulations on successfully killing Evil Rager Twaba Axe and gaining experience points *2 million, level up experience bonus. Gain add 10,000 reputation from the light camp. Ding. You get the Epic Rage Hammer *1. Obtain the Epic Level Rage Heavy Armor *1. Another 2 pieces of level 100 Epic Equipment. Suchen decomposed it as soon as he got it. He obtained a total of 4 million fusion points. In addition, because Twaba Axe took Evil Heart, he transformed into an evil camp unit. Kill him, he also gained an additional 10,000 light camp reputations. He also had twice as much experience as his brother Twaba Hammer, all of which were stored in the experience storage tank. So far, a total of more than 14 million experience has been stored in the storage tank. Not bad. However, it is still far away from the 60 million experience required to upgrade the Thunder Dragon. After returning, go to the tavern to exchange for fish sauce. Suchen pulled out the heavy sword Awakening Palm of the World from Twaba Axe's head and shook off the red and white thing. Scan the whole place. In the huge Gushan Square, there were hundreds of thousands of people, but no one dared to raise their head. Although the pressure of Soul King Muraiden is gradually dissipating. But the bloody scene of Suchen frantically slashing Twaba Axe with thousands of swords frightened countless people. They found out for the first time. This master showed the demeanor of a holy master in the battle of skills. He actually has such a crazy, cruel, and bloodthirsty side. That was a level 100 strongman who could knock away Bronzebeard General Dwellin with just one hammer. He died tragically under Suchen's sword. Seeing the whole place was completely silent, no one dared to say a word. Suchen sat back on his seat. He took out another glass of fruit wine and took a sip. He said calmly, "Who else wants to fight? Come up quickly, I'm in a hurry." No one in the audience dared to answer, and there was silence. Joke. You, old man, hold an invincible crystal ball in your hand. If you think about it, even strong men like Twaba Axe can only lie on the ground and kill you with your neck. If we go up to challenge, isn't that delivering food? Waited for half a minute, no response. Suchen said to old Bilbo in the distance, then, just announce the result directly. After all, old Bilbo had lived for nearly 300 years and had seen many storms and waves. Reluctantly suppressing the shock in his heart, he stood up tremblingly and was about to make an announcement. A sharp shout suddenly sounded from the Wildhammer tribe's stand. Who says the game is over? Kuroda Takeneo, who was dressed in black robes, struggled to stand up. His face was distorted and his eyes were red. He pointed at the Twaba axe in the field that had been chopped into pieces by Suchen and said sharply, "Twaba axe is not dead yet. The game is not over yet." Everyone was stunned when they heard this. Alexander and others looked at Kuroda Takeneo and frowned. Wildhammer King Okuyama quietly raised his head and glanced at Kuroda Takeneo. Suddenly he remembered what the other party said, who could invite someone from the Dark Temple. The ultimate power. He got up immediately. He didn't even bother to wipe the nosebleed on his face, and asked eagerly, "National Master, that kind of power, can you please use it?" Takei Kuroden nodded sharply. Okuyama's eyes lit up. He sat back in the bleacher seat and stared coldly at Suchen in the field. "National Division. You can call on the power of the Dark Temple, but if anything goes wrong, I will take care of it for you. As long as I ascend the throne as the King of Lonely Mountain tomorrow and invite the Dark God statue from the Dark Temple to Lonely Mountain, there will be no problem." Kuroda Takeneo's face hidden under the black robe gradually became ferocious. He waved with one hand and shouted, "Sakura Purgatory dead soldiers, come to the battle. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion." Author, 7 years. Chapter 113. Wow! A full 1,000 members of the Sakura Purgatory Guild strode forward in silence and gathered around Kuroda Takeneo. The latter lifted his hood, revealing a pale face. "Open your arms and pray to heaven. The great and omnipresent God of darkness. I am your most devout believer. I am willing to sacrifice the lives of 1,000 believers to you. Exchange." Buzz. The terrifying pressure came again. Hundreds of thousands of people in the square suddenly fell down again. Suchen had no interest in giving the enemy time to amplify his moves. Without thinking, he activated Soul of the Lonely Mountain King Muraden again. Kuroda Takei lay on the ground, spit out the blood in his mouth, struggled and shouted, "In exchange for your great..." Buzz. The pressure returns. Puff. Kuroda Takei had several of his teeth smashed. Still struggling, blue veins popped out on his forehead and neck, and his face turned blood red. He raised his head with great difficulty and said word by word, "Great, big, power. Buzz. 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 Buzz, 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 buzz." Suchen placed his fingers on the solitary Mountain King, Soul of Muraden crystal ball while playing the drums rhythmically. While walking towards Takuchi Kuroda, the last word quantity of the latter's sacrifice was suppressed by strong pressure one after another, and he could not say it out. His eyes were as red as blood, and his brain was buzzing. In a daze, a figure squatted down in front of him. Suchen patted Takeneo Kuroda on the head. "Thief son. Kneeling is so standard, quite stylish. Remember to call your dad next time and recognize your ancestors." Kuroda Takeneo was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He had never been so humiliated in his life. But now he couldn't even raise his head. He roared crazily in his heart, "I, Kuroda Takeneo, will not be defeated so easily. I will die. Come out as a sacrifice." He scratched his finger and drew a mysterious symbol on the ground with his own blood. Boom! A huge 12-pointed star array, with Kuroda Takeneo as the center, suddenly lit up. In the star array, thousands of Sakura Purgatory, the dead soldier player suddenly turned into a puff of blood and merged into the star formation. The 12-pointed star formation turned into a blood formation and started to move suddenly. The pressure that originally pressed on Takeneo Kuroda also suddenly dissipated. He's struggling to get up, laughing crazily. King's Landing, I am sacrificing the lives of 1,000 level 15 Sakura Purgatory players, and will not hesitate to return them to level 1, just to invite the power of the Dark God. I know you no longer have the ability to kill angels, ha 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 ha. I, Takeneo Kuroda, am here to get your head. From today on, I, Takeneo Kuroda, will step on your head and stand on top of the world. Come out. Spirits. Devour everything in this world. Suchen frowned and looked at this guy. He didn't expect that he would complete the sacrifice like this. He drew out his heavy sword and stabbed it with one sword. Chi. Minus 1652. Ding. The player Kuroda Takeneo has been killed by you. The clone Black Dragon G Mengli gained experience points *360. You gain add 200 reputation from the light camp. Suchen withdrew his heavy sword and returned it to its sheath. It's annoying to make a lot of noise. Takeshi Kuroda didn't expect until his death that Suchen would act so freely and decisively. At this moment, a strange sound suddenly came from the center of the square. The dwarves and players around were struggling to raise their heads. Seeing the big terror in the center of the square, he let out a gasping hiss. Suchen turned around. He saw the dead body of Twaba axe that had been chopped beyond recognition by him. In a strange posture, he slowly stood up. Then large chunks of skin and flesh were separated. A 3-meter tall, ferocious ghost with double horns, a big bloody mouth, black and red skin, and a pair of bloody hooves emerged from it. Ghost and God Bloodhoof, suppressed by the Divine Continent, existence time, 10 minutes. Level, 200, Demigod. Life, 2 million. Attack, 800,000. Defense, 10,000. Skills, Bloodthirsty Confuse Blockade. Description, one of the low-level arms in the ghost world, less suppressed by the rules of the Divine Continent. See the attributes of this ghost and god. Without saying a word, Suchen took out the single teleportation scroll and prepared to run away. Buzz. A huge bloody light shield immediately enveloped the entire Gushan square. Ding. Space transmission failed. Ghost Bloodhoof has already activated the skill block. GG. Delicious bugs, no one can escape, obediently become the blood food of this god. Ghost Bloodhoof spreads its claws and activates the skill Bloodthirst. Lines of blood shot out in all directions. Hook up every dwarf and player present, including Suchen. Seeing this blood line, Suchen slashed it with his sword, but it went straight through. Has no effect at all. At the same time, the damage value of -924 began to float above his head. It actually reduces blood by 10% every second. However, Suchen's current blood recovery is still 10%. The blood here is reduced by 924, and the blood over there is increased by 924. The blood volume does not decrease. Huh? Interesting, there is such a fat little insect. Ghost God Bloodhooves noticed something different about Suchen, stepped forward with both hooves, and flew into the air. One claw was about to grab Suchen's head. Buzz. At this time, the crystal ball in Suchen's hand suddenly exploded. A majestic golden figure 10 meters tall soared out from it. Monsters and monsters. Who dares to hurt my dwarf people? The lightning-shrouded lonely mountain divine hammer hit Ghost and God Bloodhoof heavily. Boom. A huge circle of air waves spread out with the center of the contact point between the hammer and Ghost and God Bloodhoof. The huge power, and the flashing electric light knocked Ghost Bloodhoof away. -10,000. This blow did not cause much damage to Ghost and Bloodhoof. Seeing Muradin, king of the Lonely Mountain, Ghost Bloodhoof just smiled strangely. A mere dead soul dares to go against this god. Just in time, if I swallow you, my god status can be upgraded to another level. Ghost and God Bloodhoofs kicked off his hooves, and the ground beneath his feet instantly cracked like a spider web. Breaking through the speed of sound in an instant, he grabbed Muradin with one claw. The latter raised the Lonely Mountain divine hammer high and roared, "God descends to earth." Buzz. A golden light descended and enveloped Muradin's body. The latter's figure instantly increased tenfold. Up to 100 meters high. Even the hammer in his hand skyrocketed. Thunder blow. The huge Lonely Mountain divine hammer, with its sharp whistling, hit Ghost God Bloodhoof heavily. The latter screamed strangely, with deep fear in his eyes, and ran away without thinking. But the hammer in Muradin's hand will automatically fly out and hit the target as long as it locks onto the target. Boom! The 30-meter-long Gushan hammer smashed Ghost and Bloodhoof into the ground. -1 million. An extremely terrifying damage value floated out from the head of Ghost and Bloodhoof. Thunder blow. Muradin didn't give Ghost Bloodhoof any time to breathe, and struck down with another divine hammer. Boom. Ghost God Bloodhoof's the blood volume returned to zero, and he roared unwillingly, turned into black smoke and sank into the ground, disappearing. Looking at the godlike Lonely Mountain King Muradin, Suchen opened his mouth wide. Damn me, this damn old man actually lied to me and said he didn't have any power or skills. Damn, I believed you. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 114. In Gushan Square. Hundreds of thousands of dwarves, including the three major tribal kings Ocean, Victor, and Balin. Everyone was shocked when they saw their ancestor Muradin with their own eyes. After seeing the ancestor display his might and kill Ghost and Bloodhoof in one fell swoop, his eyes showed a look of fanaticism. Hundreds of thousands of dwarves knelt down before their ancestor Muradin. There were even tears of excitement. After killing Ghost Bloodhoof, Muradin turned around and looked at King Wildhammer Ocean, who was kneeling on the ground. Unworthy descendants! How dare you blatantly collude with the evil camp and the Dark Temple? You will not regret your death. Boom! A hammer fell. The frightened Wildhammer King Okuyama didn't even scream. He was smashed to pieces by the ancestor Muradin on the spot. The Dark Iron King Victor on the other side was trembling with fear. Afraid of his ancestor Muradin, he gave himself a blow. After Muradin finished this blow, it seemed that all his divine power was exhausted. His body suddenly shrunk to the height of an ordinary dwarf. Suchen rushed over, grabbed Muradin and shook him hard. Damn old man! I helped you condense your soul, but you don't want to repay the favor. Do you still have any sense of morality? Muradin's soul was already depleted of its power. Being shaken like this by Suchen, the soul almost collapsed. He quickly whispered, "Little friend, wait a minute, give me some face, in front of my descendants, don't so rude, everyone is a person of status." Suchen put down Muradin. The latter breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Actually, I just killed that ghost and god, which is equivalent to repaying my kindness." Seeing Suchen's unkind expression, Muradin quickly said, "Of course, don't worry. The skills will be there. There will be strength too. I am about to leave this world. If I don't pass these things on to you, who will I pass them on to? After all, you have the same supreme bloodline as Qing Emperor." Suchen frowned. "You are so long-winded, please show some sincerity." Muradin waved the Lonely Mountain divine hammer in his hand. 3 more streaks of earthy yellow light fell on Suchen. Ding! King of the Lonely Mountain Muradin helps you improve your 5-star qualification. The current qualification is 21 stars. Obtain free attribute point compensation, 85 points. Ding. You obtain upgradable holy level skills, God descends to earth. Ding. You receive the title given by King of the Lonely Mountain Muraden, Dwarf Guardian. Improve your 5-star qualification. This reward is good. It's equivalent to the effect of a god and demon essence. There are also holy level skills. This is the first time Suchen has obtained a holy level skill. Moreover, Muraden had already demonstrated the effect of the gods coming down to earth just now when he killed the ghosts and gods. It was indeed unparalleled in power. Skill, God descends to earth, can be upgraded. Grade, holy level, red. Level, level 1, blood of gods and demons, 0/100. Player restrictions, rain. After activation, the size will increase tenfold immediately, and the health value *1000%, attack power 1000%, defense power 1000%, movement speed *1000%. Skill duration, 20 seconds. Cooling time 10 minutes. I go. It actually directly increases life, attack, defense, and movement speed tenfold. This is simply a Super Saiyan transformation. This old man Muraden is awesome. And this skill can be upgraded, although the upgrade requires blood of gods and demons. But when Suchen fights for world hegemony, he will definitely kill countless gods and demons along the way. Blood of gods and demons, this kind of thing will never be lacking in the future. What the hell is this title? Suchen looked at the description of Dwarf Guardian. Title, Dwarf Guardian. Function, permanently gain the worship of the dwarves. At the same time, you can enjoy a 10% discount on all reputation exchanges and item purchases in the dwarf clan. 10% off. In other words, I only need to spend 1/10 of the price to buy everything from the dwarves. Not bad, not bad. Muraden, an old comrade, is still very good. Suchen patted Muraden on the shoulder and was about to praise him a few words and then see if he could come up with anything good. No thinking of this shot, he immediately missed it. His hand passed directly through Muraden's body. Muraden, the king of the Lone Mountain, smiled bitterly and said, "My little friend, I don't have much time." He looked at everything around him with some nostalgia, and finally his eyes fell on Suchen. "You are the successor of the Dragon King's bloodline, and you must be the next generation of ruler of the Divine Continent. Even the gods and demons of the 6 realms cannot stop you. Dwarves, I leave it to you." The figure of Muraden, the Lonely Mountain King, gradually became illusory. He raised his head and looked at the dome inside the Lonely Mountain. "Qing Emperor. Muraden follows you." The spirit dissipates. Click. The crystal ball in Suchen's hand also shattered in response. Finally, it becomes a coin-sized mark and remains in your hand. Mark of the Lonely Mountain King Muraden. Description: the only evidence that can prove the existence of the Lonely Mountain King Muraden, who fought all his life. Maybe one day, someone can use great power and use this mark as a source to resurrect Muraden. This old man is pretty good. Suchen put the mark into his backpack. Then, look around the entire Gushan Square. This time, no one dared to look at him. Even Alexander, the leader of the God's Whip Guild, is the same. "Let's go, there's nothing left for us here." Alexander sighed, took the guild members, and left sadly. The leader of the Viking Guild looked at Suchen deeply and whispered, "I hope you can still be so arrogant in 2 days." Tens of thousands of players left. The king of the Black Iron tribe Victor's eyes flickered many times, and finally he sighed and turned around to leave with a bit of unwillingness. Old Earl Bilbo stood up and announced loudly with some excitement. "I, Bilbo, Lord of Ironforge of the Bronzebeard tribe, solemnly declare now. The first place in the martial arts competition is the Bronzebeard tribe. Get 3 king stars. The Black Iron tribe, voluntarily abstain. Wild Hammer tribe, removed. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 115. Boom. As old Bilbo's words fell, all the dwarves of the Bronzebeard tribe burst into unprecedented cheers. King of the Lonely Mountain! King of the Lonely Mountain! King of the Lonely Mountain! Countless dwarves rushed toward Balin, who had a dull face in the stands. The latter reacted, separated from the crowd, and came to Suchen. In everyone's extremely shocked eyes, he knelt down on one knee. In the name of the tribal king and the tomorrow Gushan king, your majesty, kneel down on one knee to Suchen. Bang! Bahrain beat his chest with his right hand. He solemnly said to Suchen. King's Landing, my brother. It's you who gave me a second life. It's you who made me what I am today. Tomorrow, I will be the king of Gushan, you will crown me, and I will be loyal to you. This is the oath of the Bronzebeard tribe, Bahrain Bronzebeard. Bahrain's words were sonorous and powerful. His eyes were very firm. Everyone around him was filled with emotion. Everyone could see that Suchen was almost the only one who reversed the decline in the entire battle for the Lonely Mountain King. Pushing Bahrain, the troubled prince who lost his father, to the throne of the Lonely Mountain King step by step. Moreover, Suchen also has the noble blood of the Dwarf King. Even his ancestor Muraden favored him. He treated him several times. Blessings were sent down, and Suchen was announced in public as the guardian of the dwarves. Such a person deserves to be knelt down by Balin. Old Bilbo looked at the scene and shed muddy old tears. Thousands of years ago, our ancestor Muraden followed the Qing emperor of the Great Yan Empire and never regretted it. Thousands of years later, the new Gushan king follows the legendary Saint Master with noble blood. Perhaps, this is the charm of fate. The next day, Bahrain Bronzebeard ascended the throne as the new king of Gushan. Suchen raised the crown high and crowned Bahrain personally. At the same time, he pulled out the heavy sword Wake Up the World and placed it on Bahrain's left shoulder. The latter, as the king of Gushan, made an oath to Suchen to follow him for the rest of his life. Ding! You gain the allegiance of Lonely Mountain King Balin and gain the reputation of the dwarves. Add 30 million. At the same time, the old Earl Bilbo announced in public that Suchen was the king of the Lonely Mountain of the dwarves. In the dwarves, he had the same status and honor as Balin, the king of the Lonely Mountain. From then on, the dwarfs returned to their homeland, and Suchen fought for hegemony. The team in the world finally has a powerful force. In the royal palace, several dwarf administrative officers sat respectfully around Suchen. Dear Lord Gushan, the teleportation array between Dragon City and Ironforge has been set up. Currently, the 10,000 dwarf warriors, 20,000 dwarf sophisticated equipment, 1,000 carts of various ores, 10,000 elemental crystals, 10 pieces of epic equipment, and 2 pieces of legendary equipment dispatched by His Majesty the Gushan King are ready to go at any time. Teleport to Dragon City. Suchen nodded. All of the above are gifts from Bahrain, the Lonely Mountain King, to Suchen. They don't cost Suchen a penny or a bit of reputation. In addition, these dwarf political officers also gave Suchen some help. A huge sheepskin scroll. The scroll is densely packed with items that Suchen can exchange for reputation points or gold coins. Because of Suchen's special status, there are no restrictions on the items that can be exchanged. Even the right to use the Gushan Divine Anvil. Among them, Intermediate Dwarf Engineer, recruitment requirements, 10,000 reputation/person. Senior Dwarf Engineer, recruitment requirements, 100,000 reputation/person. Epic Dwarven Engineering Master, recruitment requirements, 1 million reputation/person. Legendary Dwarf Engineering Master, recruitment requirements, 10 million reputation/person. Level 50 Dwarf Warrior, recruitment requirements, 20,000 reputation. Add 5,000 gold coins/person. Level 70 Dwarf Warrior, Recruitment requirements, 50,000 reputation, add 20,000 gold coins/person. Level 70 Dwarf Sheep Cavalry, recruitment requirements, 500,000 reputation, add 200,000 gold coins/person. Second generation Dwarf Musket, exchange requirement, 2,000 gold coins/piece. Dwarf Sophisticated Artillery, exchange requirement, 600,000 reputation/piece. Dwarf God Arm Crossbow, exchange requirement, 300,000 reputation/piece. Sixth generation full set of mining equipment, exchange requirement, 5 million gold coins. The right to use the Gus Han Divine Anvil, the requirements for use, the reputation level reaches worship, and other necessary materials. There are hundreds of items listed densely on the sheepskin scroll. Suchen watched all the way. Some of them are really exciting. I looked at my current dwarf reputation value and found it was 65.37 million in total. In addition, there is a 10% discount on the title Dwarf Guardian. Suchen's more than 60 million reputation points are equivalent to the purchasing power of more than 600 million reputation points. Well, I have integrated a lot of engineering skill books from elementary to legendary level before. There is no need to spend a lot of money to hire legendary engineering masters, just exchange them for some intermediate to epic level engineers, and then use the skill books to upgrade when you go back. In addition, Bahrain has given me 10,000 level 50 dwarf warriors. Just get another batch of level 70 dwarf warriors to scare Xiao Xiao. As for the dwarf sheep cavalry, although they are powerful, they are not impressive compared to my dragoons. I definitely want to buy the dwarf musket, and try to fuse it with a more powerful 6-barreled Gatling in the future. Forget about the sophisticated artillery, go back and ask these dwarf engineers to build a more powerful self-adjusting rapid-fire artillery for me. I just have this blueprint. The divine arm crossbow is useless, get a set of mining equipment first. As for the right to use the Gus Han divine anvil. Seeing this last item, Suchen fell into deep thought. After thinking for a while, he asked, "Are there any other requirements for using the Gus Han divine anvil?" The administrative officer next to him quickly explained. "Yes, every time the Gus Han divine anvil is opened, a large amount of rare gold is consumed. Rare gold only found in small amounts in rare earth minerals. Use the solitary mountain divine anvil to create an epic piece of equipment. Each time you open the furnace, you need 10 pieces of rare gold. To create a legend, it costs 100 yuan. The saint level is more and requires a full 1000 yuan. And if you want to use the Lonely Mountain Divine Anvil to create the artifact of Ancestor Muraden, what you need is no longer rare gold, but the even rarer blood of gods and demons." Suchen's heart moved when he heard the political officer's explanation. Let's not talk about the blood of gods and demons for now, there will always be some in the future. But can he fuse rare earth minerals into something like rare gold? In this way, all the gold equipment on his body can be upgraded to dark gold or even epic level. Just do an overall hardware upgrade. It feels so good that I can fly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 116. Suchen directly drew circles on the sheepskin scroll. Intermediate dwarf engineers, 999 people come. Senior dwarf engineers, 9 people come. There are 28 epic dwarf engineers. In addition, there is another requirement for the above engineers, they must have full proficiency. Suchen counted all the advanced, epic, and legendary engineering skill books he had on hand. Once these people are recruited and signed with lifelong contracts, they will be able to upgrade immediately. Okay, no problem. The administrative officers said respectfully. The total is 38.89 million reputation points. Because Your Highness Gus Han Bingji Unwang has a 10% discount, the actual cost is 3.889 million reputation points. Suchen nodded. Then he drew a circle. Level 70 Dwarf Warriors, 5,000 come. The second generation Dwarf Muskets, this one comes first with 10,000. Also, are there any manufacturing drawings for this second generation musket? The administrative officer said quickly, yes, Your Highness, you bought so many, the second generation dwarf musket blueprint will be given to you as a gift. Suchen nodded with satisfaction. In this way, he can make unlimited weapons of this kind. Once 1,000 six-barreled Gatlings are fused, each of the dragoons will be equipped with one. When they charge, they will sweep them first one shuttle. That feeling, don't be too happy. I wonder what will happen if the artillery is also fused, multiple rocket launchers. Suchen couldn't help but have a whim and plan to try it later. A set of 6th generation mining equipment. Calculate the total reputation and gold coins. After the settlement, take me to see your rare earth mine. The administrative officer nodded quickly. Okay. Suchen is a respected legendary prospecting master. It is very normal for him to go to see the rare earth mines. The administrative officers have no doubt that he is there. The settlement will be completed as quickly as possible. The administrative officers respectfully said, Your Highness, a total of 28.889 million reputation points and 12.5 million gold coins. I bought so much, and the reputation cost was less than half, which is quite affordable. After settling the reputation and gold coins, a dwarf political officer immediately went to summon and go through the relevant procedures. Suchen didn't need to worry about the intermediate process at all. Your Highness, the rare earth mine is at the bottom of Gus Han. Please come with me. The political officer bowed and led the way. When the dwarves they met along the way saw Suchen, they all beat their chests with their right hands to show their highest respect. Your Highness, in fact, our dwarves originally had flying arms, but they were destroyed by the forces of the 6 realms 1,000 years ago. Otherwise, we could have provided more arms to Your Highness. Hearing the words of the political officer, Suchen's heart moved and asked what kind of military unit. Your Highness, is Dwarf Dragon Eagle, possessing the powerful soul chain skill. Under the leadership of his ancestor Muraden, he fought against the forces of the 6 realms and made great contributions. Mentioning the glorious deeds of our ancestor Muraden, the political officer's face was filled with glory. It's just that, after the Dragon Eagle nest was abandoned, this kind of troops never appeared again. Otherwise, the power of our dwarves would not just be shrinking in the lonely mountain. Suchen's heart moved when he heard this. Abandoned Dragon Eagle nest? Brother, I like abandoned nests best. Where is this abandoned Dragon Eagle nest? Your Highness, it's right next to the rare earth mine. During the war between gods and demons, the Dragon Eagle's nest was driven directly to the bottom of the lonely mountain by a demon god and was torn apart. Not even the Dragon Eagle eggs inside could be saved. An hour later, Suchen and 2 administrative officers took a dwarf minecart and went all the way down to the bottom of the solitary mountain 8,000 meters deep. Ding! You have discovered a holy mine that is about to be depleted. Suchen couldn't help but feel a little disappointed when he saw the mine that had been dug out almost to the point of exhaustion, with even the granite layers underneath exposed. Thousands of dwarves carefully collected the remaining rare earth bit by bit. Suchen walked towards a young dwarf miner. When the latter saw Suchen, he immediately beat his chest with his right hand and saluted, looking a little reserved and excited. After all, he is just the most ordinary dwarf miner. Compared with Suchen, a noble king of Gus Han side by side and a saint-level master, the gap is as big as the sky. Can I see the rare earths you mine? Suchen walked over and asked with a smile. The young dwarf miner quickly put down his backpack and raised it in front of Suchen, his face flushed with excitement. He kept shouting in his heart, the first holy master in thousands of years, he, Talk to me. Oh my god. Is this real? Suchen took a handful of rare earths and looked at them. Ding. You get rare earth *1. Little brother, can I buy your basket of rare earths? The young dwarf was obviously stunned for a moment, his face turned red, and he said nervously, Master, the rare earth mine I dug belongs to the entire dwarf race. I can't sell it. The political officer came over, took the rare earth from the young dwarf's hand with a smile, and handed it to Suchen. Your Highness, the rare earth mines here belong to King Gushan and also belong to you. You don't need to spend money to buy the mines here. Ding. You get rare earth *10. Suchen nodded, and while taking out a bottle of ordinary water, he asked how many rare earths do it take to refine a portion of rare gold. The political affairs officer sighed. 1 ton, that is, 1,000 parts of rare earth, can barely extract 1 part of rare gold. From all the rare earth mines left here, I'm afraid, at most, 50 more rare golds can be extracted. Suchen nodded, poured the water in his hand into the rare earth, and then started infinite fusion. The administrative officer and the dwarf boy looked puzzled. I don't know what Suchen is doing, but because of his status as a saint-level master, Suchen seems a little confused. Ding. The current minimum number of fusion points required, 10,000. Do you want to fuse? Yes. Fusion in progress, ding. Fusion successful. You get rare gold *1. A basket of ordinary rare earths turned into a piece of ore that shone with golden light in an instant. Everyone was stunned to see it. 10 parts of rare earths, fused with 1 part of rare gold, increase the utilization rate by 100 times. In other words, from all the rare earth mines left here, I can fuse a total of 900 rare golds, which is enough to upgrade all my equipment to legendary. Suchen thought secretly. The 2 political officers opened their mouths. How is this possible? Could it be the bottle of magical holy water that turns soil into gold? Master, Your Highness. This holy water, do you still have it? The administrative officer stared at Suchen eagerly, his eyes full of desire and passion. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 117. The total number of rare gold in the previous chapter was changed to 50. Suchen smiled and shook his head. Holy water is only one aspect. The most important thing is that holy level techniques are needed. Infinite fusion, a heaven-defying talent, is impossible to reveal to others. Anyway, he is the only saint-level master in the entire dwarf clan. What he says is what it is. A bottle of ordinary water turned into holy water in his hands. That's the benefit of fame and status. After hearing Suchen's explanation, the 2 political officers lowered their heads sadly. It seems that it is not feasible to replicate His Royal Highness's holy water and promote this refining method on a large scale. However, it is also a very good thing to increase the utilization rate of rare earth mines that are about to be depleted 100 times. Your Highness, we are looking for new rare earth mines. I will tell the Dwarf Engineering Association about your holy level refining skills. In the future, I will dig up new rare earth mines and accumulate them. I hope that your Highness can refine them uniformly. Of course, all the rare gold refined by His Highness himself will be handled by His Highness. After hearing the words of the political officer, Suchen raised his eyebrows. This is equivalent to using all the rare earth mines dug by the dwarves in the future? Suchen naturally agreed to such a good thing. At that moment, he dug all the rare earths he got were gathered together. There were 10,000 copies in total. Suchen fused them all, which was exactly 1,000 pieces of rare gold. By fusing these rare earths, he not only used up all the fusion points on his body, but also used up all the fusion points in his backpack. I disassembled some silver equipment, ordinary skill books, etc., and went to the trading platform to scan the equipment, and finally collected 10 million fusion points. 1000 UN, my heavy sword awakening palm world is a legendary outfit. How about directly upgrading this sword to the level of a holy weapon? After all, attack is the best defense. Other equipment can be upgraded after more rare earths are mined. Making up his mind, Suchen happily put the rare gold into his backpack, and then asked the administrative officer for the location of the abandoned dragon eagle's nest. After walking for a quarter of an hour, he saw the dragon eagle's nest split into 5 parts next to the rare earth mine. Can I take this abandoned nest? Su Chen asked. The administrative officer quickly said, okay, we keep this abandoned lair purely for commemoration. If His Highness wants it, he can take it away at will. Suchen was secretly happy. Ding. You get abandoned dragon eagle nest fragments *5. Haha. When I return to Dragon City, I will immediately merge into the dragon eagle nest. In this way, I will have a group of powerful aerial forces. Dragon Eagle has the soul chain skill, and because it contains dragon blood, it is not afraid of the pressure of the dragon, and can even lock it. Suchen immediately asked the political officer to take him to the location of the dwarf clan's Lonely Mountain Anvil. The 5 legendary masters, including King Balin of Lonely Mountain, heard that Suchen wanted to use the Lonely Mountain Divine Anvil to create a holy weapon, and they all came here after hearing the news. The Lonely Mountain Divine Anvil is located in the center of the entire Lonely Mountain. It is a tower suspended in the hollow in the center of the Lonely Mountain. A huge golden light group. In the light group, a mini mountain peak hundreds of meters high can be vaguely seen. It is exactly the shape of a solitary mountain. Could it be that, the entire Lonely Mountain is actually a super artifact, the Lonely Mountain Divine Anvil? The dwarves live in an artifact. Suchen was thoughtful in his heart. At this time, behind him, there were already 3 floors of people around him. Standing next to him were Balin, the king of the Lonely Mountain, Old Bilbo and 5 legendary masters. Outside, there were Epic Master. Outside, more junior, middle and senior engineers were quietly surrounding them, looking at Suchen's back with fiery eyes. How many years have passed, His Royal Highness, King Bingjian, is finally going to create a real holy weapon. This is a grand event that our dwarves have not seen in thousands of years. If you can catch a glimpse of the birth of the holy weapon, you will die without regrets. Balin walked to Suchen and asked, Brother, is there enough rare gold? To build a holy weapon, you need at least 1,000 rare gold. I still have 35 pieces of rare gold here. As he asked, he took out a pile of rare gold from the storage bag. Naturally, Suchen would not be polite to him and accepted them all. Then take out the legendary weapon in your hand, wake up and hold the world. Throw it into the Lonely Mountain Anvil in mid-air. It was immediately absorbed by the golden light group. Then, Suchen took out another 1,000 pieces of rare gold and threw them in as well. Ding! The conditions for creating a holy weapon have been met. Do you want to activate Gushan Divine Anvil? In his mind, a majestic system prompt sounded. Suchen thought for a while, and by some strange coincidence, he threw the holy level blood dragon chip in his backpack into the anvil. Then he said without hesitation, yes. Buzz. After absorbing the mysterious energy of rare gold, the entire Gushan Divine Anvil shook slightly. Everyone stared intently at the golden light group in mid-air. Suchen was also a little excited and licked his lips. The holy weapon has added blood dragon chip. I don't know how powerful it will be. Boom. In the golden light group, a mini solitary mountain hundreds of meters high was pressing down heavily on the heavy sword awakening palm of the world and blood dragon chip. A huge crash sounded throughout the Lonely Mountain. The earth shook, and dazzling golden light exploded, shooting in all directions. Ding! Congratulations on successfully triggering a super lucky event. Ding! Congratulations on using Gus Han Divine Anvil to successfully create the semi-artifact forbidden slaying the Heavenly Emperor. Hearing the system prompt, Suchen froze on the spot. Lucky gems, it actually triggered another super lucky event. And, a semi-sacred weapon that is stronger than the holy weapon was actually produced. A golden heavy sword blooming with colorful divine light slowly floated out from the divine anvil light group and flew into Suchen's hand. Suchen quickly checked. Forbidden Death Emperor, number of holes that can be embedded, 4. Level, semi-artifact. Player restrictions, Junlin. Level requirement, level 15. Attack, 5000. Additional attributes, health add 3000, constitution add 50, strength add 50, intelligence add 50, the spirit of the king, passive, targets attacked below the god level will have defense minus 80%, forbidden god destruction, for every 3000 units killed, you can get a chance to cast the forbidden spell, against a single person not exceeding the demigod level, the target performs a killing blow. Description: due to the incorporation of blood dragon chips, this semi-artifact possesses a forbidden curse skill that is stronger than the holy magical cannon. It can be called a god-destroying weapon. What the hell? Suchen was dumbfounded. This sword is too strong. The legendary Awakening of the World only had 1,500 attack points. Now that it has been upgraded to a semi-artifact, it has soared to 5,000 points. The additional attributes of life, physique, strength, and intelligence have all soared 3 to 6 times. The enemy's defense reduction attribute of King's Spirit has also been increased from 50% to 80%. It even has a forbidden god-destroying level forbidden spell that is stronger than the holy magical cannon. It can kill demigod level units with one hit. This means that in addition to Shura's sword, I have another trump card. For the forces of the Six Realms, it is too expensive to bring down god-level units in the God's Domain continent. Currently, they mainly bring down demigods. Moreover, the attribute skill Forbidden God Destruction can be used repeatedly. As long as you hit after killing 3000 units, you can continue to use it. It is much more cost-effective than Azura Sword once a day, which consumes a lot of experience points. After all, chopping off other people's heads is definitely better than spending your own experience points. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 118. In addition, this semi-artifact actually comes with 4 inlaid holes. Suchen thought for a while. Since it is a semi-sacred weapon, it must be inlaid with worthy gems. I feel like I can't handle the earth stone anymore. I can't go back to Novice Village. However, the mysterious merchant of the Goblin tribe in Jingtang City Double Tower Forest has better mysterious items for sale. When you return, go to him to find treasures. Just when Suchen was checking the semi-artifact Forbidden Zushan Emperor. Behind him are the lonely Mountain King Balin, the legendary master, and hundreds of engineers of varying levels behind him. Everyone was so shocked that their jaws almost dropped. As soon as the semi-artifact that bloomed with colorful light appeared, it immediately blinded everyone's eyes. Legendary equipment is orange, and holy weapons are red. Only semi-artifacts can shine with colorful light. Brother, did you just build a semi-artifact? For a long time, Balin's eyes widened and he stuttered in a daze. The others rubbed their eyes vigorously and looked at the semi-artifact in Suchen's hand. They couldn't believe it, and then looked at it several times again. Old Bilbo was so excited. I burst into tears, and my hand on crutches started to tremble. How many years, how many years? We, the dwarves, finally have another semi-artifact. After 1,000 years, the goddess of luck finally favored me, the dwarves, again. Suchen has the blood of the dwarf king and is the king of the lonely mountain of the dwarves. He created a semi-divine weapon and was naturally regarded by old Bilbo as the supreme glory of the dwarves. However, after hearing what old Bilbo said, Suchen smiling secretly in my heart. This is not the work of goddess of luck, without a lucky gem, it would only be a high-quality holy weapon at best. Suchen used the Gushan divine anvil to create a semi-artifact in public, and everyone looked at Suchen in a different way. If Suchen, a saint-level master, is respected by all dwarves, then he who created the semi-artifact has become the only hope and sustenance for all dwarves to restore the glory of their ancestors. This sustenance is more akin to a kind of faith. Ding. Because you used the Gushan divine anvil to successfully create a semi-artifact, you gained add 30 million in dwarf reputation. Your reputation level among the dwarves has been increased to faith. Suchen was happy when he heard the system prompt. He didn't expect to earn back the reputation points he just spent. Then come 1000 dwarf sheep cavalry, so that the cavalry power of ordinary players will be handled by these sheep cavalry. My dragon knights only need to concentrate on dealing with the minions of the 6 realms. 1000 level 70 dwarf sheep cavalry, with a 10% discount, costing a total of 50 million reputation and 20 million gold coins. There are more than 10 million reputation left. I can exchange it for whatever I need in the future. Thinking about this trip to the dwarves, it can be said to be a huge harvest. Not only did he gain the support of the entire dwarf race, he also became the king of the lonely mountain of the dwarves, with the same status as Balin, the king of the lonely mountain. There are many other types of powerful dwarf armies, engineers, and supplies. He even used the Gushan divine anvil to create a semi-artifact. In addition, he also received the holy skill God descends to earth given by King of the Lonely Mountain Muraden. He is even more confident for the battle with the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness the day after tomorrow. After doing this, Suchen is ready to return to Dragon City. He still needs to do various city defense construction and troop deployment. Semi-artifacts inlaid with gems can also improve attributes again. In addition, the number of super god level fusions has been accumulated to 12 times. You can now fuse the artifact Emperor's Boots. The attributes of the semi-artifact Forbidden Emperor of Heaven Slaying are already so terrifying. I wonder how terrifying this real artifact passed down from the Qing Emperor of the Great Yan Empire thousands of years ago will be. There will definitely be big news about the fusion artifact, and Suchen plans to return to his Dragon City to do this again. Come to Ironforge Teleportation Array. Around the teleportation array at this time, more than 13,000 dwarf cavalry, soldiers, and engineers stood neatly and solemnly on both sides. Behind him, there are hundreds of transport trucks carrying various equipment and ores stretching for thousands of meters. Brother, I haven't been to your Dragon City yet. This time I'm here in person to support your army and supplies, and to give you a strong reputation. Our ancestor Muraden was able to fight against the gods and demons of the 6 realms, and we, the dwarves, are also not afraid of the forces of the 6 realms. Bahrain and Suchen drank a toast and laughed. Okay, then I will send my political officer to make arrangements for you to build a dwarf guild hall or something. The war is approaching, and there are still many things on hand. I will go back first, brother, and I will drink wine with you later. Suchen said goodbye first, and immediately returned to Dragon City through the teleportation array. Then, he went directly to his city lord's mansion. After dismissing the frightened maid, Suchen went to his own secret room in the city lord's mansion and took out the Imperial Picture combat boots. Artifact that lost its power, Emperor's Boots. Description: one of the divine armors of the Emperor of the Great Yan Empire thousands of years ago. Driven by the blood of the 6 realms of gods and demons, it has lost its powerful power over the past millennium. Each activation of a piece of divine armor can increase the Dragon King's bloodline qualification once. By gathering together the 6 divine armors, you can gather the true form of the Dragon King and be proud of the gods and demons. How powerful is an artifact that can enhance the Dragon King's bloodline qualifications and make gods and demons proud? Suchen started the super god level fusion with excitement. Ding! This fusion requires 10 super god level fusion times. Do you want to continue the fusion? Yes. In the process of merging. Ding! Fusion successful. Congratulations on getting the artifact Imperial Battle Boots *1. As the last system prompt fell, the entire Dragon City and the entire Broken Dream Island shook. All the players were so shocked that they quickly looked eastward, thinking that the volcano was about to erupt again. What followed was extremely gorgeous. The colorful rays of light burst out in all directions from Suchen's hand. The semi-artifact bloomed with colorful rays of light, and the real artifact was colorful. If it were not blocked by the secret room, it would definitely alarm the entire Dragon City. A full minute passed. The rays of light bloomed in all directions. It slowly weakened. A pair of majestic god-level combat boots were revealed. Suchen's eyes lit up. He quickly checked the attributes of this artifact. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 119. God Emperor Picture Boots, number of holes that can be embedded, 4. Level, Artifact. Player restrictions, Junlin. Level requirements, level 100. Defense, 5000. Additional attributes, health add 3000, constitution add 100, strength add 100, agility add 100, movement speed add 100%, let the world go as you wish, ignore all space and time constraints, counter shock, reflect 100% of the enemy's attack power, and cause real damage. Description: the peerless artifact of the Qing Emperor of the Great Yan Empire thousands of years ago. 1. With the collection of 6 divine weapons, he can slay the heavens and the earth, and sweep across the 6 realms of gods and demons. I go to this property. Suchen was stunned. In particular, the additional attribute I can do whatever I want with heaven and earth ignores all constraints of space and time. In this way, even if there are magic spells such as space confinement scrolls and blockades, they will have no effect on him. In addition, there is a shock effect that reflects 100% of enemy attacks, and it also causes real damage. This is so awesome. From then on, Suchen charged into the battle with thousands of troops. With his current defense, ordinary players simply cannot break his defense. However, the attacks received can be rebounded 100%, and can also cause real damage. This is so cool. Proper equipment suppression. Definitely better than any large-scale spell. It's just that the minimum level requirement is level 100. I can't wear it now. However, it seems that some mysterious merchants will sell a balance gem that reduces the equipment level requirements. It just so happens that this artifact has 4 inlaid holes. Although using balance gem will reduce the equipment level requirements, the equipment attributes will also be reduced accordingly, but the attribute skills will not change. With the 2 invincible attributes of heaven and earth are at my disposal and counter shock, I can walk sideways. At that moment, Suchen put away the artifact and went to the outpost camp. When the guard saw Suchen, he was overjoyed and ran over quickly. "Sir, you are finally here. This is the fish sauce collected in the past 2 days, a total of 86,000 groups. However, there were a little less people selling fish sauce today. I heard them saying that copper coins are not worth as much as before, so they can't be used for anything." The fish sauce collection was low, and the guard was a little worried. After all, he also gets a commission, so naturally he hopes to acquire as much as possible. Taking the fish sauce from the guard, Suchen said with a smile, "Raise the purchase price to 10 copper coins per group. Don't worry, they will go crazy again. Now that the game coins are exchanged for cash, the exchange rate has doubled again." I used to earn 24 copper coins a day selling fish sauce, which I could exchange for some good fast food, but now I can only eat instant noodles. And as the player's level increases, more and more game coins are obtained from killing monsters and completing tasks. Naturally, the game coins of fish sauce no longer have the same appeal as before. Player motivation not as good as before. However, by increasing the purchase price from 3 copper coins to 10 copper coins, I believe these players and even gold mining studios will flock to the outpost camp again. 86,000 sets of fish sauce, one set of 10 copper coins, only costs 86 gold coins. For Suchen, who could fuse nearly 500 million gold coins a day, he didn't even bother to lower his head to pick it up if it fell on the ground. Suchen took the fish sauce to the tavern and exchanged it all. Ding! You gain experience points *86 million. Farewell to the enthusiastic tavern owner. Suchen came to the Dragon City Thunder Dragon lair. A large group of Thunder Dragon babies saw the owner and immediately surrounded him with cheers. The experience points for upgrading the Thunder Dragon are finally available. Suchen waved his hand. There were 1,000 ordinary Thunder Dragons and 1 Thunder Dragon King pet baby in the audience. In an instant, their whole bodies burst into patches of upgraded white light. Ding! Congratulations! Your Thunder Dragon pet mount has been upgraded to level 2. Ding! Congratulations! Your Thunder Dragon King pet mount has been upgraded to level 2. Ding! System upgrade notifications came like a flood. Just 5 minutes. A total of 60 million experience points were consumed. 1,000 ordinary Thunder Dragons, all upgraded to the full level 20. The Thunder Dragon King has reached full level 25. He is 6 meters tall, 10 meters long, and weighs 15 tons. He is majestic and not angry. Suchen took a look at the attributes of this Thunder Dragon King. Thunder Dragon King Pet Mount. Level, 25. Race, Yelong Clan. Qualification, 10 stars. Intimacy, 100, Loyal. Life, 7700/7700. Magic, 500/500. Attack, 1780. Defense, 1280. Movement speed, 20 meters/second. Skills, hard armor, defense add 100% trample guard, pets share their attributes with their owners, charge, increase movement speed *50%, lasts for 10 seconds, thunder blow. Equipment, none. As expected of the Thunder Dragon King, its attributes are about 70% higher than those of ordinary Thunder Dragons. And it's bigger, faster, and has stronger impact. Seeing the thousands of Thunder Dragons standing in front of the Thunder Dragon's lair, Suchen felt very high-spirited. The Dragon Knights trained in the barracks will be out tomorrow. By then, if replaced by these Thunder Dragon mounts, their attributes will be greatly improved. At this moment, countless players suddenly heard loud exclamations from the outer city. Suchen frowned slightly, looked at it, and found that it was the lonely Mountain King Balin who came with a group of dwarf troops and supplies. He ignored it for the moment. Take over 3,000 Merchant Guild sailors who have completed training, bring them to Qinglong Bay, and receive level 3 ironclad battleships. The Dragon City teleportation array is located in the south of the outer city. Because of the opening of the large-scale dungeon ancient temple, millions or even tens of millions of players across the server flock here every day. Every minute and every second, the Dragon City teleportation array kept flashing with white light. It can be said to be the busiest teleportation array among all major cities. The beautiful anchor Tuan Tuan also passed through the teleportation array today and came to this Dragon City, which is famous throughout the server. As a newcomer in the game live streaming industry, Tuan Tuan doesn't know how to create an atmosphere in the live broadcast room, nor does he know how to tease the audience by playing tricks. My anger has never been very high. Fortunately, the popularity of the God's Domain online game has also indirectly boosted the popularity of her live broadcast room, because she is currently broadcasting various daily tasks in the God's Domain online game, upgrading and fighting monsters, and downloading dungeons. Oh my god. There are so many people in Dragon City. The city wall is so high, ah. There is also an inner city inside the city. That should be where my King of Kings lives. I really want to enter the city lord's palace in the inner city and live with my male god. Tuan Tuan launched her daily nymphomaniac, looking at the tightly closed inner city gate, smiling foolishly. I heard that the male god of Junlin has opened money shops in all the free trade cities, and the daily gate fees and dungeon taxes of Dragon City are in the hundreds of millions. The male god's dragon cavalry is even more invincible in the world. He is super handsome. He is the game version of a domineering president. If I could be his girlfriend, ugh, I wouldn't have to eat steamed buns every day. Several daily comments immediately floated across the live broadcast barrage. Wake up! Tuanzi, it's time to fight monsters and move bricks. Tuanzi, did you forget that you owed someone 10 silver coins yesterday? Hurry up and pick up your staff, be your wet nurse, and exchange milk and water for money to pay off your debts. This woman is hopeless. Why? Tuan Tuan, look behind you. Why is the teleportation array shaking? Is the lens not set properly? Damn it! Tuan Tuan, turn around and look behind you. The teleportation array is about to explode. So many warriors. It's a dwarf warrior. There are also the legendary and powerful sheep cavalry. Oh my god. That's a lot of quantity. Run, silly group. The enemy is attacking the city in advance. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 120. The anchor Tuan Tuan is still working hard to introduce the scenery of Dragon City. The abnormality on the barrage was not noticed at all. It wasn't until he heard the unusual movement behind him and the frightened screams of the players around him that he suddenly turned around in fright. This time he turned around, Tuan Tuan was stunned. I saw a short, thick-bearded dwarf, holding a huge battle axe as big as a leaf fan, riding on a sheep with curved horns. With a level as high as level 70, a terrifying murderous aura, a solemn look, and dark gold-colored equipment all over his body, all show the power of this dwarf sheep cavalry. Behind this powerful dwarf sheep cavalry, more cavalry were silently arranging out of the teleportation array. Wow, wow, wow. 100, 200, 1,000 uniformly dressed dwarf sheep cavalry walked out of the teleportation array. Each one is a powerful level 70 NPC warrior. He looked at the players around him with an unkind expression. The players who originally walked out of the teleportation array saw these powerful NPC cavalry and immediately rolled and crawled to the side. He didn't even dare to say a word, for fear that the other party would chop him down with an axe. Tuan Tuan stood just in the middle of the road, with dwarf sheep cavalry on both sides walking slowly and silently from both sides of her. This little girl, who was only 17 years old, was so scared that she didn't even dare to express her anger. I closed my eyes tightly and kept praying in my heart, "You can't see me, you can't see me, you can't see me." But it is this perfect position that allows her lens to show the power and majesty of these dwarf warriors from the best angle. On the live broadcast screen, not a single comment disappeared at this moment. All the audience held their breath and watched all this in shock. At the same time, the popularity of the live broadcast is soaring. Soon the number of people surged from 3,000 to 10,000. And it's still growing at an even faster rate. After 1,000 sheep cavalry walked out. Immediately afterwards, another 1,000 level 70 dwarf warriors holding dark gold warhammers lined up. Tuan Tuan, who originally thought he could finally breathe a sigh of relief, saw another group of powerful dwarf warrior NPCs stepping out of the teleportation array. His delicate body trembled suddenly, and he closed his eyes tightly again, silently reciting the invisibility spell. At this time, the number of viewers watching Tuanchuan's live broadcast has increased to 100,000. I saw the silly and cute anchor standing in the middle of the street with his head curled up. Countless powerful dwarf warriors strode past her. Everyone in the audience was both amused and shocked. However, God has destined that the suffering of this female anchor will not end so soon. Thousands of level 70 dwarf warriors stepped out of the teleportation array. Then an even brighter teleportation light lit up. Tens of thousands of level 50 dwarf warriors filed out. It lasted more than 20 minutes. The team was several kilometers long, extending from the teleportation array to the entrance to the ancient temple copy at the root of the city wall. The camp guards had already received Suchen's order, but they just stood by and stood at their posts, and nothing unusual happened. But players don't know the origins of these dwarf warriors. Especially when the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness are about to launch a large-scale attack on Dragon City. Everyone was so frightened that their faces turned pale, and they rushed wildly to escape outside the city. Damn it! There must be tens of thousands of NPC troops, except for forces like the Church of Light, who can produce such a large-scale high-level NPC army at this stage. Run! The Church of Light launches a general offensive in advance. Dragon City has fallen. The enemies hit directly inside. I've said it a long time ago, this Dragon City is just an empty shell, and that guy from Junlin might have run away long ago. Sir, I am a good citizen, don't kill me. Yun Feiyan and others, who were working hard to clear the ancient temple, received an urgent report from the members. It was said that Dragon City had been invaded by the NPC army. They were immediately shocked and even threw away the half-finished ancient mecha boss and forced all of them to exit. Dungeon. When the dungeon comes out, the first thing you see is thousands of majestic level 70 dwarf sheep cavalry. The attack of up to 3,000 points is enough to instantly kill any player present. Looking back, you can see the endless army of dwarves. There is no end in sight, the number is definitely tens of thousands. Yun Feiyan's expression changed and he immediately issued an emergency summons within the guild. All Fire Phoenix Guild members must gather at the entrance of the ancient temple immediately. At the same time, he led hundreds of members and set up a defensive formation at the entrance of the dungeon. Yunfei Yanjiao shouted. All Fire Phoenix members will fight to the death. The city is here and people are here, but the city is gone and people are going to perish. Fight to the death and never retreat. Hundreds of Fire Phoenix detachments shouted in unison. Although facing these powerful NPC armies, they would be mercilessly crushed and killed instantly if they met each other. But the Fire Phoenix Guild has already tied up with Suchen's God of War Guild. Alliance. We live and die together, advance and retreat together, and the oath we made must be protected with our lives. Immediately afterwards, Yun Feiyan urgently contacted Jialan Temple and Galaxy Guild. At this time, the half-awakened Fox and Zunlong they were bringing some elite members over to take a look at Dragon City, and were planning to find Yun Feiyan and Suchen to discuss defense matters. When they first saw the hundreds of meters high city wall, the two of them were extremely shocked. Zunlong, as the captain of the top team in the country, his eyesight is naturally extraordinary. He could tell at a glance that the city wall was extraordinary. He touched the city wall with black star dots and said solemnly, the city wall is extraordinary. Not to mention us players, even the trebuchet probably won't be able to break it. Hearing Zunlong's speculation, the half-awake Fox was startled. Just as he was about to say something, Yun Feiyan's emergency message came over. The two looked at each other, and saw the look of horror in each other's eyes. So fast. Looking at the city gate again, countless players rushed out screaming. All they heard was, the city is broken. The NPC army has captured Dragon City, and so on. Quick! Summon all guild members to rush to Dragon City's aid urgently. Both the Jialan Temple and the Galaxy Guild have formed a sworn alliance with the God of War Guild. The three of them are both prosperous and destructive, and they have already become people on the same chariot. Seeing the players pouring out, they closed the city gate. Block. Zunlong and half-awake Fox organized hundreds of elite members to form a sharp formation, started a charge, and forced their way into the city gate. The guards on both sides glanced at the people from the two guilds. They saw that it was the city lord. Guilds listed as free of entry fees ignored them. One of them yawned. Why are these people so excited today? I don't know, sometimes it's really hard to understand these strangers. And next to the teleportation array in the city, all 10,000 dwarf warriors set out. Immediately afterwards, Balin, the Gushan King, personally led a group of thousands of engineers of various types and walked out of the teleportation array. He saw a little human girl head-on. Her eyes were closed, her body was shaking like a sieve of chaff, and she was standing in the middle of the road muttering something. With a kind smile on his face, Bahrain said, "This little girl, can you give way first?" The words are not finished yet. The little human girl in front of her suddenly opened her big eyes, stared at Bahrain with a look of death, and said with a cry, "You must have backbone as a human being, Weavua, I support the male god of Junlin, you can kill me now. I beg you to operate the knife faster, I'm afraid of pain."